Your choices actually matter in this game, and it is brutal. We don't have enough food for everyone. I have to pick the army, my family, or, well, the peasants. We're gonna die. Fuck. It is hilarious. I know everyone's sick, but I can't help because I spent all my money building a brothel, okay? It is fucking amazing. I have never been so stressed in my life. I have to repeat the chants perfectly, or the worst will happen. My baby will be a girl. There are dozens of different endings, changes, or outcomes for every character, and they all weigh on your shoulders. You will be so engrossed in this story, so terrified of the decisions you're making, that you won't want to continue. But you can't stop either. Yes, Your Grace is best described by those classic choose-your-own-adventure books, except this time you can't leave your finger on the previous page, you little cheater. You are Eric, King of Davin, and the first decision you are ever faced with is whether to kill or spare a deserter. Being a kind and humble king, I spared him. After all, why would I kill a man for liking a sweet treat after dinner? You flash back a year earlier. Sat in your throne room, there are peasants, lords, and knights waiting to request your aid in exchange for gold, supplies, armies, or some other impossible task. This perfectly sets up that every decision you make will affect the inevitable war looming in your future. I'm getting a loan from the bank day one, because if America has taught me anything, it's that credit card debt is good. At first, you'd expect a fairly straightforward and maybe even repetitive game where you answer simple, straightforward, and maybe even repetitive requests. But no, every single moment of this game is perfectly crafted to make you think. This peasant has lost his dumb son, his words, not mine, and wants my help to find him. How much is a kid worth anyway? Ooh, more than 7 gold, I guess. Wait, the next guy is a lord who had their daughter kidnapped. It was a bait. If I had sent my general to save some shitty peasant son, I wouldn't be able to ally with this dude and his army, you cheeky fuck. And even the obvious tricks might actually be fantastic decisions in the end. This dude's trying to sell me some medicine he's made, but he isn't very confident about it. Sure, I'll do it, whatever. Make sure to let me know if it works. Your dad's sick? I have medicine. Make sure to let me know if it works. Luckily, you can rely on your trusted advisors, your generals, allies, and of course your loving family not to lead you astray as you prepare for battles, squirreling away gold, supplies, and making backroom deals. So I just met my wife and 3 daughters. I've got the eldest who's prideful, the middle who's a wild child, and the youngest who I think might be my favorite already. I've known them all for 30 seconds, but if anything happens to them, I'm gonna fucking cry. It's important to remember king's duties aren't just in the throne room either. Your choices matter in every single room you enter. The war room, the council room, and of course, the bedroom. Get out of here, I'm trying to make you a brother. For a game where you sit on your ass and decide people's fate, I found the hardest decisions were, well, on the walls, consoling your eldest daughter, in the garden, teaching your middle child to sword fight, and of course, helping your youngest with her new pets. Is that a fucking bear? The incredible writing took me completely by surprise. It strikes the perfect balance between charming, hilarious, and displays amazing humanity in these characters. King Eric is a tragic character, being forced to take responsibility for the greater good, constantly betraying his family, his wife, his people, and more just to protect the kingdom. At every opportunity, it's shown that he doesn't want to be the man he is. He would happily run away from all of this, but he has to stick to his responsibility. Yes, Your Grace does something very few games have ever done for me. It had me so deeply invested that every decision I was faced with left me terrified. And it does this by bullying the ever-living shit out of you. My eldest, Lasulia, is begging me as her father not to marry her off to a stranger, and now my only goal is to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen. And I'm being forced to promise her to another king. Fuck! I came into this game expecting a funny and light-hearted yes-no simulator, and don't get me wrong, it delivers on that and more. The problem is, the and more was so powerful, I'm at a loss of how to talk about it. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm sat here crying over a game at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. I feel like anything I say about the story further than what I just have will simply take away from your experience. I knew my choices mattered, and I was trying my best at every turn. A magic cock! I need the magic cock, it can tell when people are lying. Most of the time. For example, for weeks, I was being visited by a man who said people were following him. He became more and more aggressive and confused as time went on, and he wouldn't let me help him out of fear. I had 2 choices, imprison him or let him go. I laughed it off and let him go, and a week later, he was dead. There was something about the weight of this side character, this unimportant, forgetful, silly encounter that I kept laughing off, that just stuck with me for the rest of the game. I could show you all the hilarious moments, like my youngest daughter who kept bringing stranger and stranger pets into the castle. Smudge is such a good name for a snail. Maybe I could show you the quiet human moments where you're just a fumbling guy trying to comfort your wife. I made you a present. It's not very good, but I hope you like it. Or the genuine heartbreak I felt realizing I'd made such a major mistake that I'd lost something incredibly important, all because I was forced to break a promise. I've been playing for 6 hours and I do not want to tell you how many times I've cried. I have never ever in my entire life so desperately wanted to look up a guide and make sure I got the best ending I could. I had to unplug my other monitors, put my phone in my drawer, and pucker my butthole to push through. Sadly, it doesn't matter how touching, funny, or human the story is. After all, Yes, Your Grace is a resource manager. I know, which means it should suffer from the same problem almost every resource manager suffers from. You're forced to make lame, safe choices so you can become overpowered, unbeatable, and inevitably bored. No, I need my magic cock. He can tell if people lie. Instead of the fun choices that let you enter a death spiral so awful you lose over and over again in a spectacular and hilarious way. I'm investing so this inn can become a brothel and we're gonna call it Oldie Fan. But amazingly, Yes, Your Grace doesn't have this problem. You never really know the right choice or the safe option, and often what you think is the safe option comes back to haunt you. Holy shit, credit card debt is brutal. Why didn't anyone tell me this? In your effort to balance your gold, supplies, happiness, and even manpower, you're going to make mistakes, upset your citizens, and that's okay. I cannot afford anything. If I fire my generals for the week, I can survive for, well, just one more week. But then the citizens' requests won't get fulfilled because I won't have generals to send, and they'll lose happiness, which means less taxes, so less gold next week, and I'll have to just fire my generals again for another week, and I'm still paying off this credit card! Fuck! A game like this can't be savored, enjoyed, and experienced in just one sitting, but rather over and over again. And as you do, you'll be so lucky to get to hear the amazing soundtrack that left me genuinely in awe. In fact, all of the music and sound design have had so much care and time put into them that it lifts everything up and perfectly sets the backdrop to this world. Holy crap, those drums. I've never felt so scared to see two black pixels stacked on top of each other before. Yes, Your Grace is a story of overcoming a harsh world, learning from your mistakes, and choosing happiness over responsibility. It's about admitting you aren't strong enough alone and leaning on the ones you love. It's a story of being torn between tradition and wanting the best for the people around you. I walked away from this with arguably the best ending, and I still felt like I watched a tragedy unfold. I know I'm likely biased. I know I'm the perfect audience for this game, a father wanting to do right by his daughter and the guilt of making mistakes. But I genuinely hope you take the time to experience this hilarious, touching, and human story that the game tells. 4 out of 5. I need the magic cock.